This is Don't Panic, episode number 302, recorded February 15th, 2021. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I am Sean Jennings, joined, as always, by Colby Rabideau. He doesn't need a nickname. He's his own man, damn it.
I'm singular.
The Colby.
Yeah, that's me. As far as I know, there's not another one, but there probably is.
There may be a few.
Yeah, like one or two.
A handful, a rough handful. I wonder if there are more Colbys with Y's or IE's at the end.
That's a good question. Is there a place? I think there should be a place like the census should publish a report.
There is a website, but it's only like the top 10,000 names or something. Like, it isn't every name.
Right. See, I'm interested in the long tail of names, like the weird ones. You know, the apples and the blue ivies.
Pilot Inspector was always my favorite. Inspector with a K. I think that was Nicolas Cage's kid.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But alas. So, if we've done 302 episodes, that's 302 hours, right?
And we go over an hour more than we go under. So we've, at bare minimum, done a 302. If you add up the number, at some point, I have the math. I have all the files. I'll have to add them up.
I think the real, like, the next time we're doing future picks, I think we should have a running show bit about, like, how long it'll be before we can be digitally recreated from the
how long it takes us to say every word in the dictionary.
right from the catalog of Don't Panic. When will the technology exist to create digital clones of the three of us?
Well, did I tell you I tried that? I tried it. Yes, you remember Descript, which was the software that was cool. And I downloaded it, and I tried it, and I didn't find it very helpful compared to what we normally do. It kind of, the voice recognition didn't work as well as I liked. I think it's because we talk fast and mumble, and we're not really good talkers, which 300 episodes later you would think would not be the case. But one of the features they have is you actually can read. So you would have to manually do this. I can't do it from scrubbing the episodes, but they have a script you read, and it's pretty long.
Yeah.
And after you're done reading the script, it's supposed to be able to take your voice and allow you to type and say anything in your voice.
Yeah.
So I read the script. It did not work. I will say that for the record. It sounded messed up.
Oh.
So hopefully maybe the technology gets better. But I was like, can I trick Colby and Dan into, hey, would you guys mind reading this 20-page book out loud for me?
Amazing. Yeah, that's cool. If I ever come into like a bunch of money that I have no use for, I would totally pay someone to like transcribe the entire show.
Well, see, that's funny. I would donate it to poor people, but I guess that's pretty cool too.
No, but that's what I mean.
I'm just kidding. I couldn't resist. You set me up.
Like if I had money I had nothing better to do with. Literally nothing. All the world's problems were solved.
And could you imagine the great statistics you would get out of transcribing turns out the most common word they say is that. And you're like, all right, that's cool. All right.
Yep.
We are not interesting people.
Certainly not.
No. What's going on, Colby? What's new? Dan usually brings the exciting anecdotes and stories, so
yeah, that's true, isn't it? Let's see. Most of my life is not exciting. I don't really leave my apartment. Lately, it's been difficult to get groceries delivered again for some reason. Like, there was a period like this at the beginning of quarantine where, like, it was really hard to get a delivery. And then it was fine for a long time, and now it's back to hard again. I don't know why. I tried picking up. Again, we talked about this on the show. I tried like doing a Whole Foods order and doing pickup. So like, whatever, you're supposed to just go to the store and pick it up. Mm-hmm. But again, like I think I complained about Target too. There was no I don't know. I guess I was expecting like you would pick it up and like there would be a special place that you just go to the pickup and like get it and then leave, and you don't have to like do the whole store rigmarole. But like
that wasn't the case?
nothing. There was nothing like that. It was at like the customer service desk, which I guess is a separate place. But like to get to it, you had to traverse the entire grocery store. So that was disappointing. So groceries are still annoying. But,
well, I would say, maybe now might be a good time to invest in an automobile, because curbside pickup is the way to go. Target curbside pickup is insanely amazing because you literally just go and they just bring the stuff out and they put it in your car and then they go away and then you leave. And it's kind of impressive.
See, the problem is the grocery stores and Targets here don't have parking lots. So they don't
City
do
Target.
curbside pickup. Yeah. I would be happy to stand outside and wait for my groceries. I think that would be fine. They do have curbs. I could stand
there
in the road if they want.
Just shouting at the store, "Give me my order."
Help. Yeah. So that's happening. My dishwasher still works pretty well.
Good.
I'm still kind of reeling about the existence of gas-powered dryers.
Yeah, terrifying. I read an article today, this is interesting, that apparently everyone for a long time has said gas stoves are better.
Yeah.
It turns out that's a lie from the natural gas industry.
Bastards.
They've spent years marketing. Turns out, not only do they release dangerous things into your home, like unsurprisingly carbon monoxide, but also like soot and hydrofluorocarbons and other bad shit, but also they're terrible for greenhouse gases.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I feel like the only thing that people thought gas stoves were better at was like the actual cooking.
I've definitely read more efficient when it comes to gas.
Really?
Now, what does that mean?
I've never read that. That absolutely, I believe, is like pure propaganda.
But like, there's literally been like a paid, decades-long strategy from the natural gas industry around gas stoves. Like, of course, because nothing in life doesn't have an industry that isn't pushing it. You're like, wow, peanut butter's popular all of a sudden. You're like, oh no, that's no accident. It was the peanut butter industry. It's like, God damn it.
Right. The peanut lobby.
There's so many, honestly, there's so many industry trade groups, and their only job is to make their products seem. I saw, was it the other day? It was the Bottle Association that makes like glass and plastic bottles. I guess they have an association. And they were advertising that their bottle caps were now 100% recyclable.
Okay.
Because I guess they weren't before. But then someone like quote tweeted it and was like, but you do know that like 75% of stuff that we put in recycling never actually gets recycled because no one invests in recycling infrastructure, which would be better if the bottle and trade industry did that. But instead, they get to market that their bottles are recyclable and they'll never actually be recycled.
Speaking of bottles and likely this same group of companies and whatever, I was listening to a podcast that was talking about recycling, like bottle recycling. And did you know that you know how plastic things have like that number inside the recycling thing? Do you know that number has nothing to do with recycling?
Yep.
It's just like the number indicates what kind of plastic it is. It does not indicate whether or not the bottle is recyclable. That's like mandated. Most states like mandate that recycling thing is on there, but it's meaningless. It's just BS.
Yeah, well, it's the same with the BPA. You remember the big Nalgene bottle BPA? Well, I worked at the plastic company that made the plastic with BPA, and our competitor came out with the non-BPA, and we like studied it in the lab, and it is literally just as bad for you. It releases a almost identical but not BPA chemical into the things you put in it in the same amounts the BPA stuff does. It's just not called BPA.
That's how you do it.
It's just... Anyway, so that's good.
It's like MSG.
Madison Square Garden.
No, that's stuff that's in Chinese food.
The mono something glutamate, monosodium glutamate, the fake salt.
Right.
That's like 100 times saltier than normal salt. I love science.
Super salt.
It's amazing.
Exactly. It's science.
Now, I have two anecdotes, Colby. I've got one that's a new personal project, and I've got one that's tech-related. Which would you like to hear first? Or just one?
Personal project. Then tech-related. Then we'll segue into the news.
I've started to digitize my family's photographs.
Ooh.
Now, I've done the math, kind of the back of the napkin math, and there are easily, and this is a vast undercount, I believe, about 5,000 photos that have to be digitized. My parents took a lot of pictures.
That is a lot of pictures.
It is intimidating, but I'll show you this. This will be fun for the video people. Check out the Epson Fast Photo scanner.
Whoa.
Get the right equipment for the job. What you do? Oh my God,
is that like a dollar bill counter? Does it do like the?
Yes, it does. But for photo scanning, it's incredible. You put a stack of like 40 photos in, and it shoots them out one at a time. Whip, 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 and it scans them in bulk. This thing is the friggin' best.
That's cool.
It's awesome, and it scans both sides simultaneously, the front and the back.
What's on the back?
Well, a lot of family photos have notes and stuff written on the back, and it uses computers, so it only keeps the back image if it detects writing or something on it. And then it automatically corrects the photos and rotates them.
Wow.
I absolutely love this thing.
That's very cool.
And it'll do Polaroids, it'll do up to 8x10s. The problem is it's like a $500 piece of equipment. It's not cheap. This will go on eBay when I'm done with it, and I'll get some of that money back.
I was gonna say, did you like rent it or something?
No, someone should. It's a good idea. But again, you do the math. Say it's 5,000 photos. Me putting it in a flatbed scanner, one at a time. I mean, the amount of time savings. It's worth it.
Oh my God, that would take you forever.
So this is the Epson Fast Photo. This thing is awesome. But what I'm learning is that this is the easy part. Getting them out of albums takes because you have to slide them into the little plastic like photo holders, or in scrapbooks you have to like unpeel them off and unglue them. If I just had a stack of I can get a stack of photos this big. I can get through it in like 20 minutes.
Right.
No problem. Even less. But when they're in the albums, it's a huge pain in the ass. So that's what I'm working on.
Do you have to put them back in the albums, or are you just burning them?
I am putting them back in the albums. That's what my mother said. She's like, well, what are you going to do now? You're just going to throw them away? And I'm like, the point of digitizing them isn't to throw them away. I like having the photos. It's just, everyone wants enlargements for different sizes, or they want, so in case the house burns down, I've got them in my Dropbox.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. Do you have any like wild plans for them? Do you have like a project planned, or are they just going to exist in your Dropbox?
For now, they're just going to exist. I have a couple thoughts in the back of my head. Truth be told, my family doesn't listen to the show, so I can say this. But I'm terrified. It was the same way I digitized my family videos. I cannot give them to my siblings. Because my siblings are not that bright in some areas. They're great, but they're not that bright. And there are a lot of, we'll say, compromising photographs and videos. For some reason, a lot of us like naked in bathtubs, or learning how to use the toilet. Right. Or just...
I think your family took too many photos.
Oh, they did. If I showed you... When we're offline and not recording, I'll pull a couple and show them to you. And you'll get the idea that I know my siblings well enough that the second they got their hands on it, it would be all over Instagram. And I just don't... There's videotape of me like dancing around in a princess dress with my sister, and just things... Again, not that I'm necessarily embarrassed, but that nobody needs to see but us.
Right. For family size only. Maybe you can use some like AI or something to categorize like safe for sharing family photos, and share all of those except the ones that are
just slip them out of the list.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you did give me a good idea though. If there was an easy AI way to do it, I would love to like erase my brother from all photos until he's like 5. It'd be like, isn't it weird we don't have any baby pictures of you? Is it? Like, you're in none of these.
You should really just do that and don't say anything about
Right.
it.
Right. It'd be like, here are your photos. And he's like, but I'm not in any of these. And I'm like, well, you started in whatever, there you are.
Look, there you Terrible.
There's one photo of like a Bulgarian birth certificate or something. I sneak in there and like, what the hell? Was I adopted?
You could really rewrite history at this moment. You have so much.
I'm the only one with the files and the photos, man. I have the technology.
Right.
So that's been fun. That'll take me a few weeks to get through, but it'll be done. And if anyone else out there has a stack of photographs they'd like me to scan for them before the episode goes to eBay,
your way. Yeah.
you let me know.
Nice.
I couldn't. Now, see, they have these services you can mail your photos to, and they'll do it for you. And there's just something about that. It's a lot of people do it, but it's terrifying.
Right. Like, things get lost in the mail.
I sent somebody a Valentine's Day card, and it still hasn't arrived. So, what? They got to get my priceless, one-of-a-kind family photos lost?
Right. The point of digitizing them is so you don't lose them, like, in the mail. Or
well, but that's also
disaster.
I talk about compromising pictures, but it's like some schlub in Santa Clara is popping these into a bulk photo scanner like I'm doing. I don't need someone touching my photographs, damn it. They belong to me, and definitely not my siblings.
Grimy paws off my
It's like, well, I think back to my days working in the Marist archives, where I wish I still had my archive gloves. They have special gloves you use with the fine photographs.
That's awesome.
But for my tech story,
all right,
we talked last week or the week before at some point recently about iOS 14.5 and Watch whatever version with the auto face unlock.
Oh yeah.
So I did the smart thing, which was get the beta on both. Now my phone was already on the beta track. I hadn't gone to the 14.5 beta yet, but it was prompting me to. But my watch had never been on the beta program. Now my watch, Colby, had the same problem your watch did, where there's not enough space for the upgrade. Because unbeknownst to me, when they went from, because you're a Series 3?
I think so, yeah.
I think I am too. I think in the 4 and the 5, they went to like much bigger storage in the watch, and so it's not really an issue. So I busted my ass to clear everything off the watch and basically reset it so I could get the update on there. It took forever. Colby, both my phone and watch are now totally screwed up. They're totally screwed up. The big problem, among many things, first of all, the watch now alerts me all the time that it's just full, even though there's literally nothing on it other than the operating system, so that's cool. But also, it now takes forever for notifications to show up on my phone. So, like, if you texted me, it'll buzz on my watch immediately, and it'll be on my phone immediately, like if I went into messages. But the actual notification, there's like a 10-second delay before it actually alerts me, which is incredibly frustrating. Because I feel it on my watch, and I wait, and it feels like an eternity before the goddamn notification comes up. It is miserable. So my watch is basically useless because I can't install anything on it, and all the notifications are mistimed, and I'm miserable. So that's how things are going.
That sounds terrible.
I did it to myself.
So I'm not on the beta of either the phone or the watch software, which I'm not sad about. But I did try. I wanted to try out Apple Fitness Plus that has the watch integration.
Yes.
And I thought that I haven't reconfirmed this. I thought I read that it was supposed to work with the Series 3. So I was like, okay, I'm going to try, I was some 7 versions of watch software behind because as you said, I can't just do it. But I did, I couldn't quite remember what the mechanics of what I needed to do. So I looked up the support document for this problem with your watch. And the support document has been updated since the last time I looked at it, and now the first thing it says restart your watch, and then try installing the update. And I did that, and it worked without me having to unpair it, which was pretty nice. I was not able to use my watch with Apple Fitness Plus, so I don't know what that's like. But I have some small amount of hope that I'll be able to update my watch. I don't feel excited about the current watch, but I do feel like it's about time for me to get a new one. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should just get it or if I should like try and hold out for the next one.
Yeah, this whole fiasco has taught me that the Apple Watch is inconsequential to my life. Like, I may, at this point, if you're like, Sean, you have to make a choice right now: invest in a new watch or stop using your current one. I would almost go with no watch, because I really, just the way I operate my life, I never use any of the fitness stuff. I never use any of the heart rate or sleeping stuff. I pretty much only use it for notifications. But even that, the way I'm operating these days, I just look at my phone. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm waiting for a better sell on it from Apple. Maybe the next version.
Right. That's where I'm at. Like, nothing has seemed exciting enough to buy a whole new one.
Yeah,
I
the
like
watches,
it, though.
they're not cheap.
Right. It's not cheap. On the other hand, I guess like this watch has lasted me like 3-4 years now.
That's
like,
true.
It's been with me. I do use it for workout things. I use it for sleeping. Like, I basically wear it all the time for my details. Not that is important to my life. It super doesn't matter. But it's like this one it's working fine for me. It's just like starting to break slowly.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good run for an Apple product.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what I want is my old Pebble back, and it sounds stupid, but I want a basic, super long battery life notification machine on my wrist.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about it, and Apple will never make that. And any other, there's a story in the rundown we may or may talk about Facebook might be working on a smartwatch, but it's all these different smartwatches. It's kind of half-assed integration with the OS. And so if you really want the full experience, you got to go with Apple. And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, especially on iOS. Like, maybe it'd be okay if you went with Android, but it doesn't seem like they're really doing that much anymore. Like with Android Wear or whatever it was.
Yeah, Wear OS, which I read has gotten better. It's still not great. It's gotten better, but they're just selling so few of them that,
Yeah, it seems like they've lost a lot of momentum, whatever momentum they had. Yeah, I don't know, man. When did the last watch come out? That was in the fall, right? With the phones? I remember it was during quarantine because it had the oxygen sensor thing, and everyone was like, "Oh."
Yeah, I remember they did the. I don't know, because I get so mixed up. Because I'm like, was that the one? Because the one I remember with the watch is when they added cellular, and they had the lady out on the surfboard in the lake who called into the keynote.
I think that was a while ago, though.
Was it? But see, that's the thing is I mixed these up. I'll have to Google quick when these were last done. But
do you remember when I decided to get an Apple Watch for the first time in 2017 or whenever it was? I got one, and like 3 days into having it, after not buying the Apple Care, which you don't do with any other Apple thing, I dropped it. I like just bumped it off the counter in my bathroom onto the tile floor, and the face completely shattered. And I brought it in. They were like, it's like it's nearly as much as the entire watch to replace the screen. It's like, ugh.
Do you know, I still to this day use that cautionary tale when anyone tells me they're buying an Apple Watch, and I make sure they get the Apple Care. I swear to God, I tell my Frank Colby, and I'll tell him, I said, he smashed his watch after having 3 days of it by accident. You want the Apple Care.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also like, it's not like no part of it is fixable. It's like the whole thing. To fix it, it is like you replace the whole thing. It's not like your phone. You can replace the screen on your phone. But yeah, of course, this one I've had for 3.5 years, and it like doesn't have a scratch on it. But,
right. As soon as you get the protection, you don't need it. Right. That's the racket.
Right.
By the way, I did look. Series 6 came out this past September.
Okay. So I only have another 7 months to go.
But what I want to look up is what the storage is. Yeah, so the Series 3 has 8 gigabytes of storage, and the new ones have 32. So
that makes sense. Why?
I'm sure these updates are massive. I mean, I know the iOS updates are usually massive to download, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and I'm sure when they're at this point in time, when they're thinking about how big is it okay for the Watch update to be, they're not accommodating us Series 3 users.
Well, but what's crazy is they still technically support the Series 3, and I don't know if they still sell it or not, but they consider it a supported device. I'm trying to remember if it's still in the lineup. Yeah, they still sell new Series 3.
That's
which
crazy.
Is wild.
That is wild. How much does a new Series 3 cost?
Let's find out.
I guess it works fine. Like, my watch works fine.
$199.
That's expensive.
It kind of is. I was going to get the side-by-side here. So the 3 is $199. The SE is $279, and the Series 6 is $399. So why wouldn't you just spend the extra $80 and get the SE at that point? That's weird to me.
I don't know.
But also, I was going to say, I see the Series 3 on sale a lot at like the Best Buys of the world for like $150 or, they use that as sort of a sale priced item.
Right.
I feel like I'm air quoting a lot tonight.
Technically works. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's also that's the last one without sort of the fuller, bigger screen and
like the always on thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have it's missing a lot of stuff.
Maybe it's time. I'll see if I can stick it out.
Hang in there. I gotta keep screwing around with mine and see. Oh, and by the way, the other point I didn't get to was that as far as the automatic unlock of the face,
oh yeah,
when it works, it's amazing. It is so cool, and it does just blip your wrist, and it's great. It works, in my experience, about 35% of the time. Now, again, it could be because it's beta, it could be because I screwed something up, or because I'm on an old watch or whatever, but it's not... There have been a number of times, because it'll say unlocking by Apple Watch, right. And a lot of times my phone will say unlocking by Apple Watch, and it'll just spin for a little while, and then it'll just bounce me to the passcode. So
that's annoying. Darn.
Not great.
Maybe I bet that'll get better. Because, like, when the last big update, when they released, like, the automations, you could do, what's the thing called? Shortcuts? Is that shortcuts?
Yeah.
You can do shortcuts with the watch. Like, the first round of that worked, like, 30% of the time. Like, most of the time, it would try and do the automation and just not work. And now it works all the time. Like, I think maybe once in the last month it's failed to change my watch face.
Well, and that's the one other crazy thing about this watch beta update is I don't know if it's because of the automatic unlocking or because of my Apple Watch now drains, I would say 50% faster in battery than it did before too. So really, my watch is useless.
Yeah.
So,
damn.
Kids don't play with betas.
Can you get off the beta?
I gotta Google it. I know on the phone it's very hard. I'm assuming it's the same on the watch, but like I said, the issue with the watch is it's full, so it won't let me install other updates. So I would have to flash it, I guess, or
you should try the restart it and then try the update thing if you.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to Google that. I'm sure I'm not the only person having this problem. I'm gonna get on the forums. Like a real nerd.
Apple support forums. You can like post on Mac Rumors or something.
Oh my God, could you imagine? Could you imagine being one of those guys who not only posts a problem, but then 2 years later comes back and posts the resolution?
I figured out.
Who does that?
That's the worst when you try and Google something and like the result is like a Mac Rumors forum.
See, what kills me are Reddit threads. When you search a question, it's a Reddit thread, and then it like the Google results don't really give you enough. So when you click on it, it's like, oh no, they definitely didn't answer it in this thread. Okay, waste of time.
And I don't really use Reddit much, so maybe that's why. But like, I can never figure out how to see the stuff, like the actual replies to the thread on Reddit. Like if you scroll down too far, it's like you're in a different thread, and I can never figure out when it changed and what I'm supposed to be reading. It's very confusing.
I've been suspicious that Reddit purposefully makes their mobile web page garbage just so you use their mobile app.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Me either.
Colby, we've got some news stories here in the rundown. And guess what? Because Dan's not here, you get the exclusive authority to pick the first story. What a treat. We've got them from all the big brands. We got 2 weeks worth of news here, which is exciting.
Boy, I'm scrolling through.
What is there to choose? We've got big stories, small stories, medium stories, stories for kids, stories for adults, stories for moms, stories for dads. We've got it all. Stories
Twitter for money, paid Twitter.
Paid Twitter for money. Let's talk about that. Twitter is considering a subscription fee. Twitter is building a subscription product as a way to ease its dependence on advertising. Twitter, the thinking goes, would benefit from a separate revenue stream. A number of Twitter teams are researching subscription offerings, including one using the codename Rogue One. At least one idea is related to tipping, or the ability for users to pay the people they follow for exclusive content. Other possible ways to generate recurring revenue include charging for services like TweetDeck, or advanced user features like undo, send, and profile customization options.
That seems terrible. Yeah, I mean, I guess Twitter's already kind of an unequal place, right? Like, you already have the people with the blue check marks.
Yep.
And they get all kinds of, like, I mean, I don't really know what goes into it, but I know that, like, if you have a certain number of followers, you start having a different experience than most people do on Twitter, which probably kind of makes sense. But, like, I don't know. I guess we might as well be able to pay for it, too. Weird. Would you pay for Twitter?
You know, it's so funny. I'm a huge supporter of Patreon. A lot of podcasts I subscribe to. I always get suckered into the bonus episodes on Patreon. I probably spend too much money there a month, but I like directly supporting the artist. What kills me is the volume, where it's like, okay, I can do one or two, but by the time you're all of a sudden your Patreon's like $1 zillion a month, and you're like, how did this happen? I don't understand how this works. If it's like $5 a Twitter account, it's impossible. Like, what's the scale and scope of this? Like, if it's like a penny a day or something, and they just make it up in volume, I guess. Sure, but I just don't. There was this great experiment years ago Google was doing, and they stopped doing it since, but I thought it was really neat. And what it was you could pay Google a flat fee every month. You give them like $20 a month. And they would use that money to block ads on websites you were going to. Okay, don't talk to me, Google smart device. Oh my God. Stop.
Sean,
Stop.
you
Shut
confirm pay Google
$20. Oh my God. Oh no. Damn device took all my money. My stupid Lenovo smart clock. Not very smart. I should just mute it. I don't know why I don't do that. But anyway, what I was saying was Google would take a little bit of money every time, and it wouldn't show you ads, and it would instead give the revenue directly to the website instead of the ad revenue. But those were like pennies at a time.
Right.
And so your $20 would go very far. Now, if Twitter did that and was like, look, individual users can't set their rates at like an incredible amount, but we do the math where depending on how much you view it or whatever, like it, you pay Twitter $20 a month and they make sure all those people get the right amount of money. Like, I'm for that. I think that's cool and interesting and great. I'm all for supporting individual artists who can make money on sites like that.
Yeah.
I just am totally afraid it's going to turn into... I think Twitch is a little zany when it comes to paying creators because it's like bits and then subscriptions and clubs and all kinds of stuff I don't understand. It's really complex. I'd rather just be like, this person gets $0.25 a month because I think their content's great or because I get extra content. But then again, I think the Twitter app is awful, and I fear the more features they add, okay, so now are you going to have like a separate Twitter premium? That, like, how does that mix in? I don't know.
Like a whole different app. Yeah. Yeah, I've had the same experience with Patreon where I got a little too deep. It seems like a nice idea. It is a nice idea, but if you do the thing that everybody wants you to do, it's like, oh, okay, I have no money left. I can't give you all $5 a month. But so like, yeah, like I've gone back through my Patreon and like most of the things I Patreon now, I just give them $1 or something, even though, that's not one of their tiers, but like, I don't really care if they give me, right. I don't care if they give me like the bonus thing. I just like am gonna give them $1 a month because I like whatever the podcast. Yeah. I would be interested to see how that even works on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask you back. What kind of content or features? What would you want for your month? Like think of a Twitter account you really like or something. What could they even provide that would be of paid value?
I could see like, honestly, the only thing I can think of even is like web comics. Like, I don't even like Twitter. Like, I don't like Twitter. I don't go on Twitter really. I've thought about every once in a while, like maybe every 3 months, I re-download it on my phone and I do it for like 2 days and then I delete the app again. Like, I'll go on like once in a while to look at something. I'm not going to delete my account, but it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't like hold my attention these days for whatever reason. But I could see like Twitter, Instagram, whatever. I like web comics, that sort of thing where it's like, a person does a 1-panel or 2-panel like thing that you swipe through and it's kind of funny. Like, I could see doing a tippy thing for something like that. But just regular people tweeting, I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. It would have to basically duplicate what Patreon's doing, right? Whether it's art or podcasts or whatever, where it's behind a paywall. But Twitter isn't the platform for those things. So I'm not going to subscribe to my podcast through Twitter. Like, that's bizarre.
Right.
I think, to me, if I'm Twitter, what makes sense is just straight up paywalling a whole account. Where if you're a popular music artist, I don't know any popular music artists, Gwen Stefani, I don't know, then your whole account is premium, right? You want to follow what Gwen Stefani's up to, you've got to pay her. And it's not a mix of content, it's just straight up, it's just my Twitter feed, but you can't see it unless you pay me. Again, would really only work for very popular accounts, but that's probably good enough for, good enough for Twitter. I do think the idea of TweetDeck or premium analytics being a paid-for service, I do think that makes sense.
Because that also probably costs them more money, right? Like if you're at the point where you care, that in detail who is looking at your tweets, or you have enough people where it is necessary. Like, I'm sure we can look at the analytics for the Don't Panic show and pick out like which individual people clicked on our links, but.
Well, as someone who's used a lot of Twitter analytics for work, I'll tell you, their analytics suck. It's really not good, especially compared to some of the other services. They're very high level, and they don't give you a lot of detail. And so I think a premium offering, I think brands, I think celebrities, I think a lot of people would really jump at that. To me, that's a smart play.
Yeah. Brands love analytics, man.
Yep.
Makes
You got to have them. Got to prove that ROI.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's my life. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure all these social networks will find ways. Honestly, I would just love although I don't use the Twitter app, so I don't see ads, but I could see a no ad, pay $5 a month and get no ads. I think some people would like that. Or the ability to customize the interface or, like your user experience rather than someone else's account.
Yeah.
That's why I use Tweetbot, which, by the way, Tweetbot 7 just came out, and it is amazing. But I use it because I hate Twitter's app. I think it's gross. I don't like seeing when other people like things. I don't like ads. I don't like all the other crap they put into your feed. So
that's probably why I don't like using Twitter anymore.
Tweetbot's the shit. But no, I agree. Their website, I think, is so painful. So I'm sure they'll just make it worse.
Actually,
okay.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that's the only reason that I'm still using Instagram is that they have they do the recommended shit after you get to the bottom, but they still let you like chronologically like go through what the things you haven't seen yet.
It's amazing to me they haven't screwed that up yet.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I mean, it seemed like they were going to for a little bit.
And I think they're still trying.
Right.
Have you posted any reels lately?
No, I haven't posted any reels. Not yet. Maybe I should. I don't know.
Is there another story in here worth discussing?
Well, do you want to pick one?
Oh, little old me? Really? You're going to let me do it?
Of course.
All right, let's talk about... I'll let you choose between two. Let's do either video gaming in movie theaters or the Florida water treatment hack story.
Video gaming in movie theaters. I might have... Oh, here we go. Florida water treatment plant got hacked.
Yeah, let's do that one. It's kind of a quick story, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, let's do it.
This was a pretty big story the other week. Hackers tampered with a water treatment facility in the city of Oldsmar, Florida. In doing so, they were able to remotely control a computer to change the chemical levels in the water supply, increasing the amount of sodium hydroxide before a supervisor was able to catch the act and revert the changes. According to security experts, this is like the absolute worst thing that could ever happen in terms of hacking, where you actually can poison a bunch of people.
Right. Now, is that chemical bad for people?
It sure is. Sodium hydroxide, commonly known as lye, is used in water to regulate acidity levels, but in excess it can be dangerous to human beings because it's the same inorganic compound used in corrosive household cleaners like Drano.
Gross. Ew.
It says on here, at 1:30 p.m. that day, someone accessed the system. The operator watched as someone took control of the mouse, directed it to the software that controls water treatment, and worked inside it for 3 to 5 minutes and increased the amount of sodium hydroxide from 100 parts per million to 11,000 parts per million. As soon as the attacker left the system, it was reset. Now, the follow-up... They found out what happened. Yeah. Turns out, actually bad, but not a scary hack. A cybersecurity advisor explains that the system was accessed via TeamViewer. Now, do you know TeamViewer?
I think so. TeamViewer is like a thing that like an IT professional could use to like remote. It's like a remote desktop kind of like you have the login info for this computer and you can like log into it from a different computer.
Yes, and it is incredibly... It has been hacked so many times, it is a joke. And it was... and that's what was used. Further, all computers shared the same password for remote access and were connected directly to the internet without any type of firewall protection.
Sick.
In addition, they said that TeamViewer was stopped being used 6 months ago, but they just never uninstalled it. And they also said that it uses Windows 7, which Microsoft no longer supports with security updates. It is believed that it was probably a former employee, someone on the inside who knew the password and just let themselves in. Very unlikely that it was an actual hack.
Right.
Not sophisticated.
Like a bad person. Or, I mean, obviously this person had disingenuous motives, but I gotcha. Still a bummer though. Like, I wonder, what version of Windows does your water treatment use?
It doesn't feel good. Like, honestly, I'm definitely more afraid of a disgruntled employee than a foreign hacker.
Right.
But the good news is our municipalities have lots of funding to fix problems like this. So
I was gonna say. Now, here's a question: does Microsoft still charge for Windows? Like, if you want to put Windows 10 on, you still have to pay money for it.
If it's like a brand new PC and you legally want a fresh copy of Windows, they will mail you one for whatever the fee is. I can look up what it costs these days. It used to be like $99 or something like that.
That's kind of like a really interesting... I don't know. Like, it just seems like not great, maybe.
Windows 10 Home 64-bit OEM, $109.99.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, if that's one of the things standing in between your, like, local government, like, not getting hacked and doing the software updates to get the security fixes and stuff, like, is money. Like, everybody has hard times. Do you really want to be like stuck behind a Windows update? Here's me becoming like a free and open source evangelist in real time.
Well, I'm thinking Colby's running for city council at this point.
Right, on the computer security platform.
Yes, don't hack us. Is the slogan. Well, but it also, I think it's one of those things where, part of it's software and hardware, but part of it is also like, I mean, you know this. You work in the tech industry. Very smart, good people at computers don't choose to work in local government.
No, super no. It's not. I've never really looked, but I can't imagine it's terribly like lucrative.
No, so they end up overpaying expensive consultants who don't do a great job. So
right,
it really,
gone.
People do think water treatment, they're about big pumps and about big things of water, but it's also software. Yeah.
There was a part of me that would be interested to work for probably not the federal government, but like a local government. Like, I could see working for the city here. Could be. So
what I'm hearing is if you are, what did I say the town was? Oldsville? Oldsmar. If you're Oldsmar, Florida, and you're looking for somebody to come fix your problems, call Colby. He'll upgrade you to Windows 10. He'll set up a fire. He'll put McAfee or something on Norton antivirus on there. Yeah. He'll uninstall TeamViewer, and you'll be good to go.
Do you have antivirus software on your computer for work?
For work, yes, they have some sort of complicated, because it's all Dell. You buy the computers, but you get the software with it and the management software and all that. So there's a package. On my personal computer, honestly, Windows built-in antivirus has gotten so good. I tell no one should ever buy the Nortons or McAfees of the world. It's an absolute waste, because built-in Windows antivirus is very good, and it's always up to date because it runs with Windows Update.
That's nice. We have... I have a Mac for work, but we have to have Avast. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. We have that installed, and it's the most obnoxious thing. Like, I assume the company pays money. Like, I don't think it's just like free, the free version that you download offline. But I still, like, every day I get some shitty upsell like pop-up thing that's like, oh, my favorite one is I get this pop-up that tells me my internet connection is insecure and I should pay them for their VPN when I'm connected to our company VPN. Like, I only get that message when I'm using the company VPN. It's very obnoxious. It's terrible, I guess. I hate it.
Damn, if only you worked at a company where technology was the focus.
I know. Where
I work for a screw factory. We don't do technology at my company. God bless them.
different sort of technology.
The oldest technology mankind has ever known, the screw. Nails. I'm sorry, did you just say nails? Is this a nail v screw thing, buddy? Because I'll take you on.
Do you not make nails too? It's just screws?
It's just screws, man. Oh. Fasteners, as we call them.
Fasteners.
It's the premium way of saying screws.
Right.
No, nails are for suckers, man. Screws are where it's at.
Right. Never fastened anything with a nail.
Nope. You gotta screw it good. All right. Anyway. Well, let's see. According to the clock, it is time for picks. And I'm excited. I'm going to make you go first, Cole, because I am genuinely fascinated by your pick here. And by the way, I do have to preface, before you get to your pick, I fall for your stupid bullshit all the time on this show, where you pitch stuff and I'm like, I don't need to buy anything else. And then, now sometimes they're pricier than others, but I will say, now have my OXO squeeze bottles next to, and I felt like a champ today squirting some olive oil in the pan with that thing.
So good.
It's great. So I give you credit, but that was like $9. This is a little bit different. What is this?
Yeah, I will preface this by saying fully unnecessary. Like, this is a product that you get Instagram ads for. Like, it's dumb. No one needs this. It's not only is it dumb, it's too expensive for what it is. But I first encountered this. I got my lady friend one of these for Christmas because I don't know, it seemed like a good present. It was dumb and like vaguely useful. But she got me one for Valentine's Day that I have on my computer here. I mean, on my desk here in front of me. But it's a smart coffee mug. And so in addition to connecting to your phone, it keeps your coffee warm. And I haven't gotten to use it for a work day yet. That's the primo time that a person needs to keep your coffee warm. But like, I make a pot of coffee and I like toss half of it out into the sink and pour more all day long because it gets cold. And like, I don't mind like lukewarm coffee, but at some point, I want some fresh stuff. So it's basically, it just looks like it's right here. I have it right here. It looks like a coffee mug.
Whoa.
I don't know. It's kind of heavy. Like the bottom's kind of thick. But it has like a coaster thing. Like the charger is let's see if I can get it here. It's like this is the charger. It just sits in the coaster. And it charges. And it keeps your coffee warm. It connects to your phone. You can pick the temperature at which you want it to keep your well, it doesn't have to be coffee. But you pick the temperature at which you want it to keep your hot beverage. It connects to your phone. It connects to your Apple Watch. They have an Apple Watch app. It tells you when your beverage has reached the right temperature. I don't know, man. It's silly, but weirdly nice.
This is wild.
Yeah.
This is wild stuff. They also have a travel mug version as well.
Yeah. Oh, the link I put in the chat was for the 14-ounce one. That is a full $30 more expensive than the one I have, which is the 10-ounce one, which is still $99. Like I said, very, very truly silly, but kind of fun.
So if you put room temperature coffee in there, it will warm it up to.
Yes, it is capable of warming things up. I would assume, I haven't really tested this out. I would assume if you use it to heat things rather than like to maintain the temperature of things, it will probably lose charge faster. Like, I think the battery is supposed to last for like, oh yeah, it says on here like an hour and a half the battery lasts for. if you're just walking around, I think you can like just leave it on the charging thing. Like that's what I plan to do, is just have it on my desk on the charger, and then it works like indefinitely. But I would imagine if you like if you use it to, if you put in like, you know, room temperature coffee and expect it to bring it up to like 140 degrees, it'll probably kill the battery pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of neat. It seems to know when there's liquid in it too, which is cool. Like it shuts itself off. Yeah. Weird. Stupid.
Wildly unnecessary.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you own one. This is one of those things where it's like, I don't want one, but I'm glad you own one.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing no one should ever buy themselves. But it's like a random, vaguely useful gift.
So it's, you know, ladies, get yourself a man like Colby who will buy you an unnecessary smart mug.
Yes. I feel like this is a very sharper image product.
Oh, this is aggressively Hammaker Schlemmer. It's you're right. This is like Instagram ad kind of. It's great. This is like bad Kickstarter. I'm sure they started on Kickstarter.
I'm sure.
That's that. You can also get it in gold.
Ooh, baby.
They have a metallic collection. You can get it in just the ugliest gold you've ever seen.
Travel mugs.
The travel mug actually is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's also $180.
Well, I mean, it's more portable, obviously.
That although I believe they sell. I was looking at the accessories. They sell a lid. I don't know if you can put the lid on the mug. I guess not. No, I guess the lid's only... They should sell a lid, but I guess you don't need a lid because it keeps it warm. I'm confused. This is great. Ember.com. Check it out.
So weird.
Buy Colby's fancy mug. This week, I've got something a little more affordable, Colby. I had an issue because I am now, at least for the time being, working from home. And my issue is I have a home computer and I have a work computer, but I use the same mouse and keyboard for both. And it was getting really annoying and tired because I would unplug them from one and plug them into the other and unplug from one, plug them into the other. And I got really pissed off. And then I bought this. Now, there's a million of these, and all of them are no-name brands. I don't know if one is better than the others. I know the one I bought worked. The link is in the notes. But it is a USB device selector. And so what it is on one end of it, you plug in all the USB devices you want to share, and on the other, you connect two USB cables, one to each computer. And there's just one button. It's great. And you just push a button, it goes click, and then it just switches it to the other one. And click, and it switches it to the other one. And it has saved me so much time and energy just being able to click the button and switch it over. It's great. And it cost me $20. So money well spent.
Right. That's the experience I wanted from that USB-C dock thing that I got a while ago, which accomplishes the same thing, but for like wildly more money than $20.
Yeah. No, this is a good like Windows accessory. You know, like if I were buying this for my nice Mac setup, I'd get something nicer. Yeah. But literally just to switch a mouse and keyboard, and they right up will admit on the site, they're like, this is for like, don't plug like aggressive accessories into this because it just doesn't have power. Like this is mouse, keyboard, maybe an inkjet printer, and that's like about what it handles. But
so does it have like it doesn't have like a power adapter that plugs in? It's just a USB thing.
Yep, exactly.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. Oh no, it's dead simple. You just plug it in and it works perfectly. I also picked up I'll put the link also as a pick this week. I picked up a HDMI switcher as well because this monitor I use for the show, it's a third monitor for my desktop, but it's also the second monitor for my Mac when I'm working.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was also unplugging and replugging, unplugging, So I got this, and it's the same idea. Single button, two HDMIs in, one out, click, and it just switches between them so easily. So, and that was $12. So
I'll probably save you on cables. Right?
Oh, just the arm strain of having to... oh, God, I was exhausted. So
so hard.
So it's great. Now, the only downside is I would love if these were automated, which is, again, totally unnecessary, but I would have had so much... I would have been like, activate Macintosh, and they would have all clicked on and whatever. But
Right.
Unfortunately, they're very manual, but
Darn.
I'll put the link to both of those in the website and in the description for the show. Check them out. I'm always looking for, as I am a work from home guy, I'm always looking for more accessories. I should show you. So I used to love this computer. I'm so by the way, how is your computer chair? Because you picked it on the show a while ago. Are you still loving it?
Yeah, it's good.
I've had this chair for, I kid you not, well over probably 15 years. I've had this chair. And the back is nice and the arms are comfortable, but the ass is just flat. I'm on a board. I'm literally, I'll show you, I'm sitting on like a decorative pillow off of a bed, off of my guest bed. Like, that's how bad this chair is. Right. And if my job ever turned to work from home, I would get a fancy, expensive chair, but it's not, and I can't justify that, so I have to suck up the next couple weeks on my decorative pillow with my ass killing me. So that's my next work from home office purchase, will be a very expensive chair.
Yeah, that's fair. Mine's good. We'll see how long. One would think this chair would last a long time because it costs a lot of money, but that's not always the case. But it doesn't have like cushion on the bottom. It's like very sturdy, like fabric, like stretch.
Oh, the mesh sort of.
Yeah. So it's like, maybe that will like give over time, or maybe it will just like wear out completely and I'll fall through my chair one day. Or maybe that's a thing that is repairable. I have no idea. But I don't have that problem where I'm sinking through the cushion into what lies beyond.
It's literally boring. What I like about my chair is I do like the high back. That is the one thing I would definitely look for in another chair, but that's another pick for another day.
Yeah. I had weird chair constraints because I have a high desk and I didn't want to replace my desk.
Gotcha.
I only wanted a chair, so I had to get they have them. It's like a stool chair, like it.
Yeah. Do you have like the round footrest? Yeah. Okay.
And it's great, but there were like 3 options for that sort of chair. Whereas if you had just a regular desk chair, there were like 1,000 different options at many different price points you could pick from.
Well, I had some smart colleagues that when we were sent to work from home for a couple months, they took their chairs with them, and I should have done that. And we all laughed because they were lugging their chairs out of the building, and we said, ha, 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 you fools, and I should have taken my chair with me. Very dumb.
I left my keyboard at work a year ago.
The building might be locked and closed. They may never reopen it at this point.
Right. Maybe they'll just let the lease lapse and it'll sit in the basement forever.
Your keyboard will go up at auction.
Storage wars.
Colby, that is just about the end of our show here. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. We did it. 302.
We did. In the book. Speaking of big monuments, I got to talk about Up for Debate. Colby, did you know that this week we're celebrating our 200th episode?
No, I didn't.
What an amazing treat. I'm so excited. People should check it out. We just did our Super Bowl prop bets. Those were a lot of fun. Matt and I argued a bunch about whether... Did you think the Super Bowl was good or no?
I thought it was fine. Like, I didn't hate watching it, but I super didn't care about what happened.
That was more my position. Matt was very like, oh, it was the worst Super Bowl ever. It was terrible. And I'm like, yeah, it was a blowout, but... At least Pat Mahomes was great to watch even in a blowout. Right. So
I was surprised I wasn't necessarily surprised that the Bucs won, but I was surprised by the way that they won. I was not expecting it to be a blowout, I guess.
Yep,
so
and
it was a little boring.
And Matt picked the Super Bowl winner now for, I think, the 6th year in a row. So if you're looking to gamble, talk to that guy. But we do have episode 200. This week, we're talking about 200. We're recapping the last 100 episodes that we did. We're going to revisit some old ones we did. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then next month, we're so close to March Madness. So you're going to want to check that out, too. He won't tell me what he's doing, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Did you say, I don't remember if you said, you're going to do like follow up on the prop bets this episode?
Yes, that episode is on the feed already. So recap that. We'll go through each bet. I did terribly. I absolutely ploded. I just will admit I lost. You can see that if you follow us on Twitter. And I lost by the largest margin in the history of our Super Bowl prop bets. So it was an absolute disaster. So you'll have to listen to that. We have some great... And Matt's moving into his house this week. So we've got some exciting stuff going on. It's a thrill, of course. This is Don't Panic. Dan presumably will be back, this time from the West Coast, which will be fun.
Right.
On next week's episode, don'tpanic.io is our website. Go there, the audio, the video, the picks, This Week in Pickstory. Always a lot of fun. Check it out there. Of course, you can subscribe wherever you get your podcast, video version on YouTube. And, of course, you can follow us at Don't Panic Show or don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. But we have to end it here. So on behalf of Colby, I'm Sean. Thanks for listening. Happy President's Day. And we'll see you next time for another episode of Don't Panic.